Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to my channel. I'm B. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And thank you for sharing your beautiful energy with us here today. Um, Today's download is actually called, in fact, it was more of an incident than it became a download. It was like, let's show you what's going to happen. So I went out with a friend, with someone, and I stood there, and as I was I stood at the bar. So we went out and we were at the bar, and it's a very small little place. So really like very intimate. And as I'm standing there, chatting to this friend of mine, this person out of nowhere walks past me, and bumps me. Not even like an excuse me, in any sorry, bumps me and then walks out. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So I keep quiet. And eventually I say to the person, did you see that? Like, am I crazy? Like, no, I saw it and I thought like it was just like like it's just weird. But I left it and I'm like, why would you do that? But then as time went and this person came back and I realized that, sometimes people will do things because your energy irritates them because this is one very nice restaurant. It's one of those like, oh, we go there, and for me, it's like literally down the road from my house. Very expensive. I never go there. It's just that day I just felt like it. I had nowhere else to go. So then it's one of these. If you're in Joburg, if South African, it's very the classes everything. So they class you, and then it's almost like you don't belong here. And she had this very energy that, oh, why are you here? You don't belong here. And one thing I've noticed about myself actually is that sometimes I go to places and I'll irritate people. Like I'll irritate, and I could feel that their soul is irritated, something is irritated, and so they'll start like acting up, and they'll start doing things. For example, they'll start like acting like, oh, I've got like fancy and stuff, and I'm just there like looking all weird and all like sad and all like simple. But then I've come to learn, and eventually I've come to learn that no, your light is literally irritating their darkness. So what happens is that then they will try to what's the word I'm looking for? They'll try to increase their not their vibration, but to increase normally their voice. It's always in the voice. They will increase their voice and they'll speak louder. And they want to fill the room because now you walked in and you filled it. I've walked in and I filled the room, and now they want to fill the room. And I've noticed that. So it's really an interesting one for me. So then the download is become your high vibrational energy will irritate people. Be aware and don't take it personally. And honestly, it took me a while to get to that point. And I guess to also get this message, that, don't take it personal. People will be irritated by you. People will be like snotty or, you know, uh, they will just uh, like I don't know, act weird and stuff. So just be grounded. I think the most important thing for me is just be grounded. I always protect myself when I walk out the house. I always stay grounded and make sure, that nobody affects me in the process. And I remember saying to the person that I was with that day that, you know what, I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't care sometimes when this happens. But the moment now, this is the first time it happened where somebody pushed me, where somebody like literally it was a physical thing. And that's when I was like, okay, now that I don't like when somebody actually, because it feels like an attack. Because now it really irritates you that now it's an attack. And I understand the restaurant was small, so there's a point where I was like, okay, the restaurant is small, but the person was also like, no, I saw it. I looked at the person doing it, and they were doing it because you just irritated them. And honestly, I just walked in there, and I was like, also because it's my neighborhood, so I know everybody. I greet everybody, and normally what we have in this country is like certain places are exclusive for certain people, and you must act a certain way and behave a certain way. So when you're not behaving that way, that's oh my God, only the rich come here, then you don't belong or whatever. So you get irritated. So it's like, why are you bringing this energy? Why are you bringing the I say, township ghetto energy? And it's literally like being friendly with the people. So a lot of people are weird in my country. So that's a story for another day. So yeah, so I never take it personal. I've seen it happen a lot of times, but that day it was just weird that now this person is really up in my space. This person is really up in my uh, in my energy, and I didn't like it because now it's like, you know what? Now you're attacking me. Like, I feel attacked now. Normally I'd leave it. Normally I'll look at them and like laugh, and I'll move on with my life, and there's no interaction between them and I. But now it's like, nah, I don't like this anymore. Like, you know. So if you experience that, if there's a collective here and the people here who experience that, please ground yourself. Please protect yourself. Because people do weird stuff. People do crazy, nonsensical things, especially those who have shadows and who um, their light, you know, is just like very, very wounded person, very, very wounded people, because you irritate a lot of those. And I mean, as the night progressed, and I looked at this chick, and I was like, oh, she is actually wounded, and I wish, like, I could have just had a conversation, but it's none of my business, you know, what was happening. And in my no, I'm not going to say this one. But safety is a very important thing in my country. So when her friends were like, let's go, she was like, no, I want to stay here. And so there was a lot of things that she was doing that was like, no, this person is going through something, because you don't get to just decide to stay in a club alone when your friends leave you, especially with the GBV and everything that happens in my country. So it was also like, no, this person is really going through some stuff, but it's okay. But also don't just push me and bump into me and be annoyed by me because I exist, you know. So just back to, you know, now the download. It's really, I think the most important thing is be protect yourself. You know, protect yourself. Um, because all you're doing is you're being happy in that void. All you're doing is you're being happy with who you are and your energy. And so when you're happy and you're content and you're comfortable about who you are, you know, um, people get irritated. And all you're doing is you're just showing off your natural talent, which is to just exist and be, to be and heal. And now people will start getting irritated by that stuff. People will start getting irritated by the fact that you have light and you are light, you know, because now uh, your energy and your light is bringing out the monsters in them, on the stuff they need to deal with, and they're not dealing with the stuff. And what that does is that then it irritates them to a point where, like, the darkness in them or the shadow in them takes over. And I'm all about, we live with both light and dark. We'll never choose one over the other one. Biggest thing, the best thing is to be in harmony, is to be in balance. And when in balance, you live both with your light and your dark. So be aware of that. Be aware, because you also have a lot. The collective is self-aware. They have a lot of awareness. Be aware of the people also around you who are bringing, and the energy they're bringing, and what type of energy they're bringing. And it's very important, you know, because a lot of people are still healing. I know the spiritual community says, no, we're in 5D, no, everything's going to be hunky-dory. No, there's a lot of people that need to go through it, even though it's accelerated, and the people who really are going to be accelerated into this process. There are those then, when the acceleration comes and then they see the light that, you know, the collective has and people have, then they'll get irritated. So for me, the biggest thing is continue to do the things that you do. You know, continue to do your work. Continue to do. Don't take it personal. Also, protect yourself. Also, if you have to physically, guys, if you have to physically protect yourself. I'm not saying do things to people now unnecessarily, but you know, as we put our boundaries together, and sometimes speak up for ourselves and like, sorry, excuse me, you like, you just bumped into me, like, you know, so that at least the person says, I'm sorry, I'm okay, it's okay. If you don't feel the need for that person and you're okay, you're just like, okay, this is weird, that's okay. Create your boundaries physically and spiritually and emotionally and all those things. And you know, with the for us to get there, also there's journaling and the stuff that you need to do. So continue to do what you need to do. Continue to do with your affirmations, your tools, your practices, your inner child work. And I mean, we do have the workbooks that we have. The descriptions are down there on the description box. I mean, the details. And also, I've put in some free stuff. So I have the tarot cards that I produce. So I give it out for free, because I also believe, you know, I call it a knowledge or information alchemist, where I move information to wisdom. So for me to be selling some of the stuff like that, it's like, you know, Matanda, people need the stuff. When you were going through the journey, people, you know, you went to YouTube and a lot of people gave you free knowledge and everything, so that you become the person that you are and become, you know, go through a healing journey. So, you know, some of the stuff, you know, beautiful stuff, I must say. I started out as selling them, but eventually the universe was like, no, don't give out the free tools. You're always generating, you always create, and you create from an abundance point of view. So sometimes, you know, the exchange is just somebody else is healed, and that's all that matters. With that being said, I think I'm going to stop the message here, or unless we want let me take this card. We want one more message. And I've got this, I actually must load these ones. These cards called Be. So they're like, be you, be different, be whatever, be anything, be whatever you want to be everything, be sassy. And today's card is a lady wearing, these cards have, it's called Afro Chic. She's got an afro, she's got wearing yellow glasses. So it's like, it says, be amazing. And with that, and taking the yellow as a sacral chakra energy. So continue to co-create with the universe, continue to do you, continue to do the things that the universe, is aligned in your path and the path you need to go, and be amazing in whatever you do, because clearly, clearly it is gonna affect and irritate not people sometimes, but their demons and the things that need to work on, because when the person walks away, you might find that you put the light in there and then they get home and then something changes and then they realize, there's stuff I need to deal with. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing your energy as usual. And always remember to be bold, be beautiful, and always be you. Take care. See you next time. Bye.